Man Talk Mondays. Man Talk Mondays. Let's get to the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Man Talk Mondays. Man Talk Mondays. Woo!
Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome back to Man Talk Mondays. I'm Derek, the thought engineer, here with my man, comedian John Yogi. How you feeling today, man?
Man, feeling great, man. Ready to get this thing started. This should be great. A lot of great information. I had a great weekend, kicked it. Rest in peace to my man
James Earl Jones.
James Earl. He was like a distant uncle of mine. Every time you seen him, he was in the background doing something, man. You will be missed, brother, man. You will be missed.
Oh man, big time. The man with the voice.
Yeah.
Hard to believe he had a stuttering problem growing up.
I can't believe it.
Condolences to his family and everything. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into this one tonight. Let me start off by reminding everybody, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we give you the rational realities of relationships, but of course we're doing it from a man's perspective. Keep in mind, this conversation is not just for men. We want everybody to join in. Men, women, boys, and girls. How you can do this, go into the comment section, leave your comment, leave your question. This is how you talk to us, because we can see that, right? By all means, we want to hear from you, right? So kinfolk, pull up, holler at your boys tonight. And let me say this, we want any men, if you 40s, 50s, we want you to sit a little closer today, right?
We want y'all in the comments too.
We want you in the comments. We want you to sit just a little bit closer. You know how guys be listening, but they don't want to comment, don't want to say.
And then when I get calls all day Monday, Tuesday, talking about, man, the show. I'm like, why did y'all say something?
Man, remember y'all had said,
yeah,
right.
Brothers, we encourage you guys, get in the comments tonight. Let's
holler at your boys tonight.
We need this. Please, get in the comments, y'all. Please. This should be a good one, though. This should be
a good one. Now, I don't know about you.
I did that, didn't I?
I don't know about you, but when I go to Walmart and I see the greeters, and the greeters typically tend to be older people that are standing there with their Walmart smock on, and they, you know what I'm saying?
Ain't gonna stop nobody
right
from stealing.
Right. But I sit and think, I'm like, why are you here? How did you get here? And I started there. I'm like, man, one of my things, I do not want to end up like that.
Well, one of my thoughts is, how did you get here? And how are you not on register 4 down there? They need some help on register 4. Why are you at the door?
I want you count no money. They give you the simplest job. You know what I'm saying? Cut your little chicken.
You know the crazy thing about it is how do we get here?
Yeah.
How do we get on the door at Walmart in our late 60s? How do we get here? Because life, man.
Yeah.
You at 25, 35, 45, and you got the whole world in front of you.
Oh, bro.
How do you end up? And hey, listen, let me say this. And not to say that there's not a bad job if you can work it, if you're an older person. There's not a bad job if you can do it. But just the stress of trying to have to bring in a check for you that age to survive, man. Just the stress of it all, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Switch for Real says, mad respect to Yogi. Thanks for coming on the podcast last week.
My man.
Yeah, we did a guest appearance on a podcast.
Oh, my man, that's my man right
one
there.
of my favorite podcasts right here. We definitely appreciate you, man. Stick around. We want you to holler at us too. So when we talking about tonight, I'm getting old and I'm scared. I'm getting old and I'm scared. And we're going to be talking about several things, but tonight we're going to be focusing on financial fears. Financial fears, right? You ever had some money in your account, and then you look at it one day, then all of a sudden you go back and look the next day and something hit.
Oh, brother.
And you like,
it's every day.
You had plans for that money.
It's every day.
You like, oh, look, hey,
every day. So much so I got to check with my wife. I say, I know what I see. I know what I see in there. I know it's $78.57 in there. She say, we got 300 that's going in.
Oh, see, we live behind, right? Right.
Yes, sir. I think we live behind.
But there becomes this mad scramble when we get in our 40s and our 50s. And because now you're starting to realize that you're getting older. And that what they call retirement age is starting to creep up on you. And you know you got some things you need to figure out, right? But we've kind of just let life slip by us, and we haven't properly prepared ourselves for what's coming. Why don't people take into more consideration, especially to talk about guys? Why don't guys take into consideration more that time is coming?
Because we think that time will take care of itself.
It'll take care of itself.
We think that it'll take care of itself.
Wow.
Or I'll worry about that when I get to it. That's how you end up at Walmart.
Yeah. But the problem is my ability to do something about it diminishes over time.
Oh, brother. Yes, sir.
Right.
Oh, hey, and your patience and everything else diminishes over time. You know, the fun thing about most men and brothers, y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but we feel like there's enough time. We'll make some adjustments. We'll feel like, oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Michael says mentors for young men is the key. You have to surround yourself with people you can learn and build with. Now I'm gonna say this. He said mentors for young men is key, but we're not talking about young men. We're not talking about young men. We're talking about guys who have hit 40s and 50s. Young men is 20s and 30s, right? And it's good to have men around when you that age who can pour into you. Now you got to be at the point where you listen, because we're kind of hard-headed when we're in our 20s and 30s. But you got to be at the point where you can listen. But life starts getting a little more real once you hit them 40s and 50s.
Well, because we think we got plenty of time, and then you get married, and then you have some kids.
Wow.
And then you want a house and the cars, and life start lifing, and you look up and you flying through your 30s.
Flying.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
You are flying through your 30s, and all of a sudden your 40th birthday is coming up. You don't have no money saved.
Right.
You're doing everything you can to provide the life for your family that you want, that you want them to have.
Right.
You hadn't saved any money. You don't have any retirement. You hadn't did anything. Now you're behind the 8 ball.
Right.
Now you want to make sure you don't outlive your money.
Wow.
Because now you don't have to do retirement just for you. You got to do it for your wife as well.
Right. For
the family. You want to make sure that you guys are living the same life y'all living now.
Yeah. And that's one of the social crises that's coming upon us now, because people are living longer.
Yes.
They're living longer, and they're not planning for longer.
No.
Even I think Social Security, they looking at that thing probably gonna run out because people are living longer.
Cat food on special.
You know what? It hurt my heart when I found out people really did that.
I don't know why.
Would eat dog food and cat food because they couldn't.
Cat food on special.
You
put some mayonnaise and pickle relish in it.
You heard?
I'm just kidding.
Mayonnaise and pickle relish. Right. You want the sweet or the deal? Which one it gotta be?
I want the sweet.
You want the sweet?
I'll be on the way home. My wife gonna say, you play too much.
But think about people like that. Think about, and we all may know somebody who that's their reality. Man, they've gotten into their 60s and their 70s, maybe even 80s.
And you got to work.
And you got to still try to, you got to work.
Because, retirement is something that you have to plan for. No, there is nothing worse, guys, than retirement being up on you and you have not planned for it.
Oh, man.
And yet you want to retire.
You want to retire. Right.
Everything in you say, I don't want to work no more. And you check your account says, if you don't get up right now and get on somebody's job right now.
Get on out there. Mm-hmm. Michael says, true, but if you learn that at a young age, your older age will be better. No, absolutely. And we definitely encourage younger guys, especially in their 20s and 30s, start paying attention to your financial future now. Right now. Start paying attention right now.
Never too early.
But we really want to address those guys, and not just guys, but women too, but especially guys who you did not pay attention. And right now, your reality is, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. These years are, because the years seem to be speeding up the older you get.
Is it just me? Is it just me? Every day I wake up, it's either Monday or Friday.
Boy, that's all I'm saying.
It's either Monday or Friday. It's like September. It's September running by. So I'm like, September, what is the rush?
Yeah, we just had New Year's, man.
Dude,
yesterday.
It's coming up again.
It's coming up again tomorrow.
Again, yeah, sure is.
So time is this funny thing. It's this funny thing. If you haven't planned properly, time works against you, right? So it's this resistance that you got to fight. Like wind in the front of you. You ever been caught in a strong wind in the front of you and you trying to get somewhere, you got to fight?
I remember going to Dubai. We caught the tailwind.
Hey, right.
We caught the tailwind over there. And because we caught the tailwind over there, we were able to get there 3 hours less than it would have normally took. On the way back, we had to go against it going back, and it was a beating coming back.
Wow.
All them crying kids. Remember
right.
Don't want to talk about the fight, but it was a beat. I just remember it's a lot easier going with the tailwind.
Man, the financial tailwind versus the financial headwind. You saying something right there. Cheryl says, never too late, but you have to make some serious decisions. The older you are, the faster you have to get it done. Absolutely. And we're looking at that sand in that hourglass. It's more at the bottom than it is at the top. Dude. And you start to recognize that time is slipping away, right? So if I have a shorter amount of time in front of me, it's like that financial headwind. I got to go against this to try to hit that goal. And so if I'm in my 20s and 30s, I can make that tailwind. So now if I start planning now, by the time I hit my 40s and 50s, even 60s, I got a different command of life.
True. You're absolutely right. But you can be more risky. The earlier you get in it, the more risky you can be. You can get into some stocks.
Oh, man.
You can try different things that can hit, that may hit for you, and they may not hit for you.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is you can take some risks that you can't take. Son, I'm in my 50s. Everything I put money in, it's got to hit. Everything I put money in, it can't crap out. Everything I put money in, it has to do well.
Right.
Because I don't have the luxury of waiting for something to come back again. No. Wherever I put this money in, I need that booker to hit.
And that's one of the things about youth that people have to understand, right? And the Bible even talks about, being aware of your youth, because your ability to recover when you're younger is a lot easier, right? When you 20 some years old, you go to sleep at 3, hop up at 6, 7.
You can do it.
And you can do it.
If I do it, boy, my head gonna hurt for 2 days. My head gonna be hurt for 2 days.
Boy, you don't understand the amount of naps you're gonna have to take the next day. You got to find you some nap time
you better say
when you
that.
get older.
Yes.
Right. So
right.
your ability to recover, not just financially, but mentally and physically, your ability to recover, because most of us use our physical assets to get money.
Yes.
Which is one of the problems, because we don't understand money. It's all about putting my muscles to work. Well, if that's all I got, then the older I get, if I'm still playing that game, it becomes way more riskier. And like you said, I can't afford to crap out older. I can't recover as quickly.
That back tender when you get a little older too.
Everything tender. What are you talking about? Them knees?
Dude, you got, and this is why we got to be smarter about it, because you got one body.
Yeah.
And this is the body you presented with that has to make you your money.
Mm-hmm.
You got one brain. So now as we're younger and getting older, we got to figure out ways to expedite, to maximize what we do with our backs and our minds. Because you only got one. My favorite saying is, you only got one back.
Yeah.
you only got one
Use
back.
it wisely.
Use it wisely. Well, I ain't playing with y'all. You got one good back. Because once that back start having problems, it's a wrap.
Man, what you talking about? What you talking about? And so we're dealing with that reality right now. Right? Because let's be honest, the majority of people, if the top 10%, if top 10% of persons are ones that make six figures and stuff, that means there's a whole 90 that's dealing with life
like this,
like we talking about right now.
Yes. Exactly.
And nobody's having this conversation about that with them, because there is a level of not just fear, but there's a level of embarrassment.
Yeah, you're embarrassed.
There's a level of shame that comes along with it.
You been kicking it.
Boy.
You've been kicking right past the money.
Oh.
And now, and the problem is, man, and I can relate to this personally, because you look up, guys, you look up and you're like, Lord have mercy. I am almost 50 years old and I don't have a will. I'm almost 50 and I don't have retirement. Or I hadn't put aside for retirement. I hadn't planned. I don't have a plan for my life. And see, this is the misconception of people. Yeah. We don't believe that we have to have a plan for our lives.
Boy.
Because listen, if you don't plan something for your life, somebody else will.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You ain't got don't nobody plan on ending up at Walmart. Don't nobody plan.
That is not on somebody plan.
That is not on nobody plan list.
Not on somebody plan.
Nobody don't play. You know what?
Yeah.
When I get a good 60, 65, I'm hitting up Walmart. I'm gonna hit Walmart real hard. Don't nobody say that. Don't nobody say that.
Right. In the back, ironing up your smock tonight. Ooh,
when I get that check, nobody say that.
Right. But like you said, life got a plan for you if you don't plan.
That part.
And like they say, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And many of us, we are actively failing and we're too afraid to say something. And that's the problem we're running into.
As a man, there is no worse conversation that we fear than what our wives having to talk to our wife about not being prepared for retirement.
Boy,
when we in our 50s,
man,
when we in our 50s, and we both, and this is the thing, you're trying to maintain whatever status you are now with the cars and the houses, and because the bills keep coming. That's one thing about life. Life gonna say, you know what? I noticed that you don't have your retirement in order, so we're gonna stop and let you off the ride. It don't never stop. Right. Never stop and let you off the ride.
Right.
You have to do this in spite of life.
Yes.
You gotta say, you gotta live like nobody else lives.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Nobody want to live like nobody else live.
Right.
So we can live like nobody else live.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's one of Dave Ramsey's old sayings, live like no one else. So today, so you can live like nobody else tomorrow. Cheryl says, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. Absolutely. So how did we get here? How do you get here? Right? What are the things that preoccupy you so much that you fail to plan?
See, okay, I got it. I didn't know this.
Okay.
Before. But one of the things that the Jewish communities do is when we get 13, I think once you get 13, 14, they start treating you like you're an adult.
Oh, yeah.
And in the black community, we don't do that.
No.
In the black community, you got to be 18 before we threaten to put you out in 6 months.
Yeah.
You got to be 18 before. As a matter of fact, when my daughter got ready to go to college, she didn't know how to work an ATM card.
Oh, man.
She didn't know how to do a lot of the stuff that which if I had been thinking back, when she got 13, we don't have our kids ready for adulthood, start getting ready for adulthood when they early in age. We wait till it's later, and we almost don't do it then because we want them to hang around until now. We almost got to kick them out because we hadn't got them ready for adulthood.
Right.
And that goes into now in your 20s, you're trying to figure out how to be an adult. You're trying to figure out how the checking account works,
right? How
insurance works, how that stuff works.
All that.
And you hope that you don't mess up so bad in your 20s that it affects your 30s and 40s. And now you in your 40s and you just got life figured out.
Just figuring it out. Just figuring it out.
And you talking about I'm finna live my best life. If you don't get on somebody's job and put your head straight down on the desk and work that thing, dude, because you don't have no choice at this point.
Yeah.
We started as Black America, we start behind the 8 ball because of the culture that we come up in.
Right.
And we want to blame it on somebody. I can't do no blame nobody but ourselves. My daughter was fortunate enough to go to school and and go to college. But when she went, oh man, it was terrible. She didn't know nothing.
Wow.
And I kept thinking, and I keep forgetting they don't know nothing that you don't teach them.
Yeah, you gotta, somebody gotta pour in. Michael says, in your older age, you have to collaborate with individuals that are business minded, and you have to be willing to learn at your older age.
Wow.
Great point, because now I have to submit to somebody in my older age. That submission takes you pushing pride to the side, the fear of embarrassment and stepping to somebody who knows and say, hey, can you help me? I don't know what I'm doing. Right.
You got a good stock. You got anything.
Oh man, learning stock, learning all that stuff.
Exactly.
Even the simple things, like you said, knowing about insurance and just 401ks, retirement plans, all this type of stuff, just kind of figuring through that. And you brought up a great point because I have a friend who he's Maori. He's like Indonesia. I mean, right. But he said in their culture, they don't have a concept of teenagers. He said you go from being a child to consider them a man.
Whoa. You know what's funny about that? This may not be funny, but it's really funny. All our kids do as teenagers talk back to us. so they letting us know that they ready for some adult things. And we want no. You still stay in a child's place.
Well, and let's just be raw, be real, be honest about the whole situation. A lot of times in situations, parents aren't teaching their kids that stuff because they don't know.
They're still trying to figure it out.
And they don't have the stuff together themselves, and they don't want the kids to know that they don't have the stuff together.
True.
So this thing has a domino effect that is catastrophic, because by the time they get 12, 13, there are things you should be starting to teach them. How to even handle a check at a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? How to look at how much money you have, look at the menu and say, okay, I have this, and this, and understand if you got to live more, you got to be more choices. How to actually, you like say, use your card, ATM card, check card, all this type of stuff. These are things that we wait. And then we got this whole 1890 plan. That's foolishness if there hasn't been any prep between 12 to 18.
True.
Right? True. Failure to lunch, but you need some fuel to lunch. They should be getting that fuel. So by the time they hit 18, 19, they at least have a different command of life. Cheryl says, find someone to help you and hold you accountable. It's not about getting in your business, but about taking care of your business. And one thing I noticed about taking care of your business, when you get so bad that you don't care who knows.
See that part right there.
when you get that serious, that intense, that you don't care who knows, that's how bad stuff is.
You want help.
Because
that's when you want help.
That's when you want help.
That's when you want.
That's it.
You naked and laying on the floor, hollering and screaming. Please, can somebody help me?
Yes.
Because man, listen, and I love my black people. I love y'all dearly, but we got too much pride.
Oh.
We got too much pride. We too prideful.
Oh, man.
We too prideful to tell people when we need some help and when we don't know nothing. We rather look the part than be the part.
Oh, you just said something right there.
I was wondering if you're gonna catch it.
You just said something right there.
Slow.
We rather look
the part than be the part.
Yes,
that part. But listen, because it's okay to look, and I have mastered this. It's okay to look like it, but at some point we need to catch up with the look and start being.
Come on now.
That shouldn't be enough. It was enough for me earlier. But now I have to be. Now I understand, and my wife expects it to say. You know, it's funny. You can take people along with you, but after a while, they want to get to where they're trying to go.
Right. And man, let's be honest. This is the fear that robs them of their security, and what you get out of them is bickering, complaining, all this type of stuff. And we think, oh man, she on my neck, man. She always on my, but she's scared. She's scared. If you have a wife, she's scared. And it's in your ability to plan, because you gotta manage that planning with the energy and the strength you have. Because as it begins to diminish, your energy and strength begins to diminish because you're getting older, that plan carries you and makes up the difference. So you can still make gains when you need to make gains. And that's the thing that we have to understand. But going back to the comment you said, we would rather look the part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than be the part. What creates this whole, I'd rather look good more than being good? What creates that?
Social media. And we care more about what people say about us than what actually is.
Wow.
We want the perception of us to be great and forget how much money we got in the bank account.
Yeah.
Because think about this, because a white, and I hate to be colorist, but a white guy, you're not gonna know he's a millionaire, but you gonna know.
Boy, what you talking about?
If I got an extra $1,000, you gonna know it because I'm gonna have it.
Not even a million, extra
$1,000. You gonna know because I'm gonna have the latest and greatest shoes.
Man,
I'm gonna have the Gucci belt. I'm gonna have the Louis Vuitton. So you think you ain't gonna know?
Oh,
because that's the culture that we come up in.
Oh man. Yeah,
you do the pimps, all the people, the drug dealers, all the people that we can identify with. So we chase the bag. We chase the bag.
Hip hop culture.
When you see me, I got to have all the jewelry on my neck.
Yeah.
Everything I own got to be right here on my neck.
Yeah. Kelly Johnson says, what creates it is trying to be something you're not. Insecurities within oneself. Insecurity. Now you saying something. It's true. The insecurity, but where does this insecurity come from? Where does that insecurity come from? Because we keep petting it, we keep treating it, and it's detrimental to us. But it's like we can't turn this thing off long enough for us to get away from it, and so we keep treating these insecurities. And one of the things that contributes to it, of course, is number one is poverty. It is poverty. The poverty mindset it really hurts us because it becomes more about putting on rather than, like you said, actually getting yourself together. And for many of us, we've achieved a level of success that's beyond people that come from where we come from, and so we hit this level of comfort. We hit this level of comfort to where we pull up.
Yeah, we good.
We good. Right.
We good. We get to drive what we want.
We get to drive what we want.
We get to live what we want.
Right.
They don't check the accounts. Because we driving.
Right.
And we live what we want.
Right.
We pull up. We got the house. Look, we got the curb appeal on the house. We got the latest and the greatest cars.
Yeah. In the driveway.
Don't you check the bank account.
Yeah. And what's the assumption that people make when they see the house and they see the car? What's the assumption that people that come from where you come from, what's the assumption they make?
Oh, you winning. You doing it.
Right.
You winning.
Right. So to them, it looks like you winning. And even compared to how they may be handling life, you may be
winning. You may be winning.
You may be. But as long as you compare yourself to other people, you'll only be good. Greatness is a comparison against a standard. And what's the standard to measure us to say I'm doing great as opposed to just doing good? Because that person, I'm doing a little bit better than them and I look good. Then somebody else comes along and it's like, oh, I ain't doing as well as I thought. Michael says, it's never too late to start planning. If you are healthy in your older age, use every ounce of your being to financially secure. The founder of the truck company, J.B. Hunt, started that company at 60. Right. And you have people who woke up later on in life and said, you know what? I need to go and get serious. And who is it? Colonel Sanders, which I think he stole the recipe.
He stole that.
He started later on in life. There are several people who've done so, but there's still a level of intensity that you have to have in order to do it. And do you have the physical resources to manage that?
And we're not saying that you can't, guys.
Nah.
So I want to make sure we make this clear. We're not saying that if you 60 and you wake up and you hadn't did anything, you still behind the 8-ball. Whether you come up with a truck coming now, you still behind the 8-ball. We're simply saying you're gonna have to get. We need you to do something. We need you to get some plans together.
Yeah.
So that you can salvage your retirement.
Right. I remember somebody gave me a book one time and it says retirement is not an age, it's a number. And I don't know if we think about retirement from that standpoint, because when you look at your life, you can kind of guess and kind of figure out based on
what you got,
how much you owe,
true,
versus how long it'll take you to pay it off by this certain time, and how much money you need to actually live. It's a number. And I think for us, we take goals and we make them kind of pie in the sky, kind of lofty, and we never put them down to where we can actually see how they can be tracked. Like it's your work that make SMART goals, right? Right. Something you can track, something that's time bound, something that's measurable, and all this type of stuff. We don't do that with our own personal lives to the point to where we can see progress being made and we know exactly what we need to do to make progress kick in. But the thing is, don't wait. But we sit here in our 40s and our 50s and we're still contemplating.
So what we're trying to get you to do today is we're trying to get you to wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up, guys.
Yeah.
Wake up. I know. Yeah. I know you still look good. I know you still think you got it and you don't, but I know you still think you do. But listen, we're just trying to get you guys to wake up. Men and women, wake up and let's get it. The money is out there. And we're not putting this on the age or anything. You can be as great as you want to be, but you're gonna have to apply yourself in order to go do it. It's not gonna just fall in your lap. I have waited 55 years for that magic what they call it, the magic mailbox. I walk out to that mailbox every day, looking for that magic check in the mailbox, and then it ain't come. Matter of fact, the checks that's supposed to come in the mailbox ain't came.
He said the one that's supposed to be there still waiting.
Ain't came.
Kelly says you have to spend money to make money and set yourself up for success when it comes to retirement. Invest in a good financial planner. Trust me, it's worth every penny. That's why it's so important to have that number, and a planner can help you make that happen. She says, and it's never too late. Now, let me say this. It's never too late for you to make some progress and make some headway. But if you had planned on being a multimillionaire by the time you 60, that's a whole different plan. Then I want to make sure I have everything paid off and I can leave my kids a little something. That's a whole different plan, right? How many of y'all said you by such and such time you was gonna be a millionaire? How many of y'all said that? And is that the reality right now?
See, I always gave myself an out.
Yeah, you gave yourself out?
I always gave myself out. I always say, you know what? By the time I'm older, I'll be successful enough and be a millionaire. I never put an age on it Because if I put if I put an age on it, now that holds me to something.
Yeah.
Because what goals and plans do, it alters your life and pulls you toward them.
Right.
And if you don't put dates or anything on them, like ages, anything on them, you're just kind of wallowing out there. You know what I'm saying?
No. I remember reading this book by Dr. Jordan Peterson, and he said in the book, he says, we hesitate to be specific about the things we really want, because at the same time that of being clear about what success is, we inadvertently define failure too. By defining success, you automatically define failure at the same time. So if you say by the time I'm 50, I want to be a millionaire, you've already defined what success is and failure. Because if you 50 and you ain't hit that number, you've defined it, you failed. Right? Not failure in the sense that it's all done, all hope is lost, but you set a goal and you didn't hit it. Because it's like we're afraid to be intentional about life. We're afraid to be intense and intentional. I'm a person, I got that bad. And I know where I get it from, because growing up, life was such a disappointment in the sense of nothing I really wanted ever happened. And so you get to the point where you just stop planning. You just stop. You get cynical about life, about situations. My wife jokes with me all the time, not necessarily jokes, but like when she gives me gifts and stuff, he act like he don't care. And I've developed a fear of engagement to the point to where I get my hopes up and I end up getting let down. So I play it. Yeah, well, it's cool. Play it like that because I don't want to engage to the point to where I'm really locked in and it don't happen. And it's like, I got tired of dealing with disappointment. So it's like, let me just play it fast and loose. But it takes intensity. It takes that to really make the needle move. And so you got to be intentional on purpose. That means running the risk of disappointment. And how many of us in our 40s and 50s can handle disappointment to the level to where you understand it just goes with the territory in you making the progress you need to make?
If you guys enjoying what you're hearing tonight, we ask you to please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't be selfish and don't be no hater and don't be calling me next week talking about I heard the show, but I didn't say nothing. Please like, share, and subscribe. And for our TikTok fans, follow us and like us on TikTok as well. And we're also available on our Man Talk Mondays on the YouTube page. Go check us out on there as well. And now back to getting older. And I'm scared. Financial fears.
Yeah, so we focusing there. We talking about I'm getting old and I'm scared. And there are a lot of factors, but the factor we're focusing in right now is on just financial fears, right? Are you prepared? Are you ready? I'm not talking about to die. I'm talking about when you get older. Do you want to have to work? Let me put it that way. When you get older, do you want to have to work? I'm not saying you bored.
That's a good question.
You bored and you like, you know what? Let me just go work at Walmart just to keep myself busy. But you like,
you ain't gonna go work for Walmart if you
but think about it, man.
You ain't going to.
Do you want to have to work when you get older?
I don't think nobody does. I don't think nobody wants to have to do it. I think, because what I'm learning getting older, the stress of getting older is enough by itself.
Oh man!
With all the things that come with, your sugar low, your diabetes high, your foot and your ankle and your neck and your
just side. The fact you got to measure everything now.
Oh my God!
Your sugar, your blood pressure,
everything,
your cholesterol, got everything got to be measured.
Everything, man. That's enough. That's enough in itself to where you don't need the stress of having to work like you did when you were younger because you physically can't.
Right. Physically, you cannot. And most of us handle life so poorly that our bodies wear out before they should. And when I say handle life so poorly, I mean, we party excessively, drinking, drugs, all this type of stuff, and you expect for your body to be in some kind of shape when you get older. Listen, that stuff wears on you. It wears. It may be fun at the time. It may be fun. It may seem fun, but when you hit a certain age, it ain't fun no more.
If you got a new car and you're running that book wide open, your body's a car, man.
Yeah, it's a machine.
It'll do well for you. It'll do as good to you as you do to it.
Oh,
if
man,
you running that book wide open for years and years and years, this eventually the engine light gonna come on. And most of us are used to running our bodies with the engine light on anyway,
bruh. And they talk about, I don't know if y'all know the parable of the goose and the golden egg, right? There was this man who had a golden goose, and he had a goose, and he found the goose could lay golden eggs, but he became too impatient with the goose just laying the eggs, and he said, let me just cut the goose open and just get all the eggs. Well, he killed the goose. Now he gets no more golden eggs because he didn't value, and it wasn't patient with, the fact that this goose was giving him the golden eggs. We just run our bodies in the ground because we got all this energy right now, and we don't manage that energy to the point to understand there's going to come a time where I need this later on. So let me go ahead and handle life just a little. I can kick it every now and then, but for the most part, I gotta manage this thing properly because it has implications that beyond health. It has financial implications to it. Because if you're using your body to make your money, right? There are people that make money, in their sleep, and that's where you want to get to.
Absolutely.
Right. But if you using physical resources in exchange for money, you have a diminishing asset.
Mm-hmm.
A diminishing asset. It's not going to always work for you like that. Cheryl says, I use the no's and disappointments as fuel. My biggest problem now is time. Right. She said the biggest problem is time. Fia says, OMG, that is so good. We are afraid to be intense about life. Michael says, it's like putting a film together. You have to put everything on paper that you can realistically achieve. With achieving, you still have to have a supporting cast. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Like Kelly said earlier, get you a financial planner. Somebody to work with you on that number that you figure out that you need to hit for retirement, right? To make sure all the bills are paid. You can still pay things as far as your living goes. And if you want to travel and do all that stuff, that's all a number. How much a year do you need, right? That's all a number. And so you go to that person and say, this is where I want to be. This is where I am. But and after they get up off the floor because they didn't pass out, say, Lord Jesus, what's going on here?
Speaking of Lord Jesus, I think my believers, a church truck are probably the worst.
Man, I
think we the worst.
Talk about it.
And man, I am so guilty of this. I'm so guilty of believing that the Lord will supply. Oh, Lord knows what I need, and He gonna take care of me. And then you get to an age, you get up into your 40s and 50s, and you start thinking, Lord, as much as I know you got me, I might want a little bit more than perhaps what you, because Social Security should be enough. But is it gonna be enough to live and eat the way you want to eat?
Right. Enough for you to turn your air on when it's hot outside, so you ain't passing out.
And it's 200 degrees in Texas.
Right. But no, you just touched on something that, especially my black church people, we got to understand. One of the greatest principles that I heard somebody point out in the Bible is God honors management. He says, whatever you mismanage, you lose. Right. So if you want God to add to you, you got to manage what He's giving you. But if we play life like, oh, He'll make up the difference in my foolishness. When God is looking at the person who's doing the planning, the person that's writing it down, the person that's following that plan, and that's the person He's adding to. One of the biggest scriptures it didn't make sense to me at first. It says, to him who has, more will be given, but to him who has not, even that which he has will be taken away from him. And I'm like, that ain't fair. but it's not about fairness. It's about management. God don't like waste. And what are you wasting? You're wasting time. You're wasting resources. We're wasting these things, and we're expecting God to come through and say, "Oh no, don't worry about it. I got you." God, like, no, you're gonna deal with that.
Well, because that's not fair to the person that had the plan and say,
right?
It's not fair to them,
right? But we look at them and we turn our nose up at them. They think they better than everybody, and we come up with all these theories and things about concepts about who they are, how they got what they got. Oh, they must be robbing somebody or cheating something. No, they just had a plan and they working it. And because we're so afraid to just admit that they're probably doing something right and I'm doing something wrong, then now we come up with this stuff in our own heads to justify us not going to them and even asking them, "Hey, I know the such and such. Can you tell me how you do such as?"
See, that's what we don't want to do.
Oh man,
that's what nobody wants to submit to somebody else's authority for that particular thing.
Right.
And and it's cool to be common with people and know that, it's funny because in our circle, we have a lot of people that specialize in different things.
Right.
And it's weird because I don't even know if we go to those people and say, "Hey, I know this is your area of expertise. Can you teach me or show me something in this particular area?" We don't want to be looked. We don't want to be frowned upon. We don't want to be looked down on. And doggone it again, we too prideful, man.
Right. That pride is killing us. It is killing us. And I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about the wear and tear on your mental, the anxiety, the panic, and all of this stuff that begins to set in.
Yeah.
Right. Some of you are having panic attacks and you never had them before because something about life you've woken up to and you see that you're not ready. And now that fear is getting you in a place you scared to speak up on your job. You scared to lose your job. Right. And I remember we got a friend, he said he used to listen to the white guys at his job. And he said, one of the white guys said, "You got to always have you, pardon my phrase, y'all gotta always have you some FU money." He said, "You always got to have you some FU money." He said, "What's that?" It's where you can tell that job where to go. Because you good.
That you're good. Yeah. And all we're trying to say, guys, is we want y'all to be good. We want whatever age you are, is for you to be able to look in your future and say, we're gonna be good.
We're gonna be all right.
We're gonna be good.
Right. Because it makes the day better.
Oh, it's stressful when you ain't gonna be good.
Oh man. Right.
You gotta look and see when they're gonna have the cat food on sale and the relish and it's a sweet relish too. Sweet relish, nobody wants that. We don't want that for you. Because
the stress and anxiety, you don't spend that tomorrow, you spend it all on today. It weighs on you today. So if you're not doing anything to alleviate it, then one of the most heartbreaking things I heard one time, it was this young lady or this woman, I don't know how young she was. She was from like Texas, but I think she was living in California. And her mom died. Of course, your mom died. You want to go bury your mom, right? That's what you're supposed to do. She couldn't afford to fly. She had to drive. She's driving from California to Texas to bury her mom. She gets halfway here. Her job called and said, "We need you back at work." And she had to turn around and go back to work. She couldn't go bury her mom because she had to go back to work. Why? Why would she have to go? Why couldn't she just say, "Well, you know what? Y'all can keep that job"? Why?
Because she needed the job.
Because she needed it. She needed it. And a matter of fact, your job banks on you needing it to that point. That's why I say, don't pull up to your job.
Oh, yeah.
Don't pull up to your job flexing.
Oh, man.
And I'm just saying, especially for black people, don't pull up to your job flexing. Them people gonna look, oh, so this is what we do. And listen, if you don't believe me, watch the eyes if you do so. Watch the whispers in the eyes if you do so. Let me get Michael. He says, the traditional ways of living, whereas the man takes care of everything, is no longer feasible. Having a spouse that's grinding with you makes retirement easy.
Absolutely.
Just brought up a great point. Having somebody that's working with you. This is why this social media rhetoric of I don't care, the man got to pay for everything and do everything. We don't live in that type of society no more.
No, we sure don't.
Everything the cost of living is way too high for one person. You may have a person here and there. This is why everybody talks about the high earning, high value, but that's a small percentage. Like I said, let them have that conversation. You ain't part of it because that's not your reality. So we're having this conversation here right now because this is the reality. What do I do now? I'm not that person who can handle everything by myself. How do I go to my wife and say, babe, I need you financially? And you need her to say, all right, let's make it happen. Instead of, what you mean you can't do it?
Let's put a plan together. Let's put that plan together. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Because it's still to this day, although, the standards are changing, there's still this thing today of my manhood rests on my ability to cover everything. I got to be a person to pound my chest as the man. I got to be able to cover everything by myself. Now, granted, you can, but it's going to require living so far below your means that is that going to be comfortable for you?
No, it's not.
Is it going to be comfortable? Now, it may be comfortable for you, but what about your whole family? Right? When your kids go to school with, clothes that they friends know come from a certain place. Listen, kids are cruel, man. They are cruel. You ain't got the latest shoes. You ain't got latest fashion and stuff. They still. You gonna be fine with that? You're gonna be fine with taking your family down to that level just for the sake of, making sure everything is good. Because you got to get all of them to agree with it. Especially your wife. Your wife got to agree to that. Right? Michael said, preach. Listen, this is where a lot of young men are. When I say young men, I'm still talking about 40s and 50s. This is where a lot of men are. But what are we doing about it? How are we handling the reality of it? Are we staying silent and just quietly suffering? Or do we need a place where we can go and have this conversation where we're comfortable enough to say, man, I am not getting it done, bro.
Well, you know what, and I think that's the problem, man. And I hear this so much. We need a safe space. You need a safe space. You need a safe space. Damn that. You need an opportunity to you need to meet somebody and them give you an opportunity to say something.
So what do we mean by that? When we say we need a safe space, what is meant by safe space?
We don't want to throw them back in our face. We don't want us to be held over our head what we're not doing or what we don't do. But the problem is we caring about that when we shouldn't. When you are desperate, wow, you do things that desperate people do. And it's funny, the generation now, you can't be picky in your desperation. Well, no, I don't want it like that. And I don't want to do this. Y'all know what desperate is. Amen. I know what desperate is. We have a spam before. We have a spam. Do you think we want spam? No, we wanted burgers. But we were in desperate mode, so we had to eat spam. You think I didn't want a double cheeseburger with cheese and onions fried? Yes, I did.
Steak and taters or something.
What? Instead, I had a double spam burger. Y'all don't know what desperate is. Yeah. And when you desperate, you open your mouth. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Right. I remember I read somebody posted one time, talking about let's normalize not letting people hit rock bottom before we help them. And I thought about it. I said, that sounds real noble. I said, well, a lot of people will not listen until they hit rock bottom. True. How desperate do we have to be to seek help?
But how am I gonna know that you don't know something or have something?
Yeah.
Because most of the time we so private. It ain't like the old days where everybody was in everybody's business. We're a lot more private now. As much as we put on social media, we still way more private than we've ever been.
Yeah.
Because we only show you what we want you to see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because it's all about putting on airs. We put on a good face. We're a bunch of hypocrites. Social media has created a bunch of hypocrites. And if you know about hypocrites, that whole hypocrites is a thing of you wear a certain face that looks different than what was really going on, right? And we put on this face for people. We put on this show, we put on this act for people constantly. All the while, our lives are just deteriorating underneath. And when it's going to get to the point where we rather be good than look good.
Well, you got to shoot. You got to take the coach out back and shoot it.
Yeah, take it out back. Huh?
You got to take the coach out back because we would much rather look good.
So, what level of maturity does it take to do that? To step away from social media and not worry about what it looks like to other people, at least by the next time they see you.
And that's a good question. That's a really good question.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Really good question.
How you know you're good? Your blood pressure down. Your anxiety is gone. What are you now? When that start mattering to you, you in a good place, boy. Yeah, you in a good place. All right.
Final thoughts, man. Boy, time blew by, man. Boy, yeah, man. Like life been doing. Oh, you're not gonna read that? Okay, I guess not.
Let me get Tarsha. Tarsha says. Tarsha says, true. We suffer in silence. Absolutely. Stephanie says, she says, spam with cheese and sandwich spread. Not the sandwich spread.
Oh, Lord, she said sandwich spread.
You rich way better than sandwich spread, boy.
Wow. Final thoughts. So my final thought for this evening is, man, me and my wife were having a conversation the other day, and she said to me, it's funny. Life is really short. And it is. Life is yet a speck of it's a wind. It's really short. It's just short. It's
vapor.
Yes. It's a vapor. It's a vapor. It's a square. It's a circle. Life is really short. Life is so short, guys. And that's why we're saying, hey, start today. It's never too late. It's never too late to see about tomorrow. Start today. Listen, man, we doing this because we want the best for you guys. And again, we don't have it all together. That's why we're bringing stuff like this to you guys to help and say, hey, you're not here by yourself. But together, we can do it. We can get through it and do it, man. And that's my final thought.
How selfish is it for you to do life only for you? You run your life so tight that you don't make space to allow for somebody else to be good. Because here's the reality. There are generations banking on you getting it right. And we've had people who've left our lives. And let's be honest, they didn't leave us in any better shape. Some of us, they probably left us in worse shape. Is that going to be your story? When you go, what are they going to say about you? Are they going to say, they left me with a bunch of bills that I got to pay and all this type of stuff? Or are they going to say, I can do life different because of the sacrifices they made for me? Because that's what it's all about. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So the question is, how many of us are going to be good men? According to that standard, time is running out. So what we going to do? And that's my final thought. What you doing, man?
Oh, I ain't saying that. We can go out here. I ain't touching that one.
But let me say,
outstanding, bro.
The plan is to have a brother who knows about this and knows how to handle this, have him on and talk about it next week. So stay tuned. We're gonna keep rolling because we want to give you information to help you. We were just talking about the problem just to wake you up and make you aware, but we want to bring somebody in to give you some things that you can do to make this thing move in a positive direction, right? So stay tuned. We're gonna have more coming for you. All right. Till that time.
Y'all be blessed and get the spam. Remember,
get the spam.
The spam out, break the spam out, slice it. And do we still got the little key on it?
You got the key. You got to fry it.
Now you know
fried though.
You know spam something where you got to pick the key to get in the spam.
Oh, that key break. Oh, that key break. Oh, you talking about frustration.
It's gonna be another 30 minutes before we get in.
You cutting fingers and everything trying to get into some spam. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're gonna see y'all next week. Peace out. All of y'all.